Hey everybody, Andy here, aka Montolio, and we are back for another Vintage League. And today we are playing Blue Red Ragavan. And basically it's just a cantrip deck, and we're going to have some Sprite Dragons in there for some fun. So Crazy Diamonds has been playing Breach recently, so we're going to keep this one. The only thing we're missing here is a Daze to make this fantastic, but we are... I feel like I gotta be a bit greedy here. This hand, like I don't really want to preordain first and see if I need to hold up Pyroblast. Like they got an Ancestral Recall. I mean, I guess that's the punishment that I get. But given that my hand is reasonably land heavy, I am going to go for as much value as I can here. And next turn we will hold up Pyroblast and Wasteland. See if we resolve. We do. And do we get to have a peek at what's going on? I hope so. I really like when I get the Gataxian Probe, and of course my opponent has the misstep. And we'll beat in for 2. Hopefully they just preordain. Okay, they got Mox. Yeah, so punished. Maximally punished. Yeah. Not only did they have the misstep, they had the ancestral. It's pretty funny. Well, we're going to need a bit of help here. Be nice if we can get our own ancestral off the top here. Unfortunately for us, that is not what we want. So I'm not feeling good about this all of a sudden. That was just a really bad sequence for us, our opponent. Having the misstep into the ancestral there with the Mox to boot. Like I really don't like them even playing the Mox out before a land, so I don't even know if they had one. Not gonna fight over that one. One top, one bottom. Gonna need a bit of help here. I mean, I think I play out a land here. See if they try and bolt in response here. I think I will keep the Flusterstorm. In a pinch here, I can Pyroblast something and fluster it if I need to get my my sprite up here. We're a little bit land heavy, unfortunately. Could see a dig through time here. Treasure Cruise, perhaps. We should be able to win that fight, I would think. Perhaps not, though. Well, this was a good one to hit. See if they force a will this. little bit of flood, unfortunately. I think our sprite might bite the dust here. So we're going to need to get a little bit lucky here. I'm going to hope my opponent cantrips and builds our Flusterstorm up to a critical spot. Looks like they're just going to go for a breach here by the looks of things. That's going to be pretty good for them. Look, there's not much I can do. Yeah. I can cast a fairy and bounce my sprite. It looks like they're going to Ancestral first, which seems like a reasonable thing to do. Gonna Flusterstorm it. Make them use up their resources out of their yard. Like, I mean, if they've got the brain freeze, I mean, obviously there's not much I can do here. I just try and make them shrink. Like if they Ancestral now, use one of their mana, it's not the worst for me. But we're not likely to win from here, I would suspect. Yeah, they just have the brain freeze. Okay, so we're gonna have to hope that they don't hit any Moxen or Lotus. Oh, they hit Black Lotus. Okay. All right, they got us there. We got close. We just got. I think if we just had one more spell, we were likely to close that game out. We just flooded a little bit. I mean, we're only on 16 lands. Oh, there was the Ancestral. Okay. So they were dead right there. I feel like Leyline of the Void is pretty good against them. I mean, they're going to transform a little bit here, but so what can we do here? I do feel like Leyline of the Void is solid. What I'm contemplating here is, I mean, my sideboard is not up to date. And this is just an older list that I've kind of plugged a couple Ragavans into to see how it goes. But, you know, Relic of Progenitus is pretty good, and so is Grafdigger's Cage against these style of decks. If I play Cage, I got to take my Arcanist out, which I really don't have too big of a beef with, to be honest with you. Maybe that's just better than... But Leyline really does crush their combo. Need to keep the Dark Fadens and filter these things out. I do like Dragon's Rage Chandler for the same reason. They're probably moving into Sprite Dragons themselves. I could see cutting a couple bolts here. We do have Pyroblast to be able to clean things up. So I could see potentially bringing in a Relic. We could cycle it, but we do need to take 4 cards out here. That's not going to be easily accomplished. Don't mind Daze as much on the play. Misdirection's okay. But we got to take 4 cards out. This is just not going to work. So I'm going to take out a couple of these, bring in a couple cages, and I think this is what I'm going to do. We just ran out of time. And I'm not uncomfortable with this sideboard plan here. I do like Leyline of the Void. Maybe just I'm not sure how much I actually like it in this match. Well, it's pretty awkward. They're down to 6, which is good. My question is do I slam this cage now? Like put myself, open myself up? Probably not. I think we just play Scalding Tarn pass. Like the likelihood of them going off a breach in the first couple turns is very low. I think I'm going to be proactive here. Like I kind of just need to be disrupting them as much as I can till I can stabilize. I mean, maybe they've kept a one lander off the back of the cantrip. I don't know. Sure, it'd be nice to pick up a Ragavan in one of these games in my opening 7. Hmm. Let's see what they get here. They got Ancestral Recall. Okay. Yeah. Well, I think I fight over this. They've only got 3 cards in hand, so it looks like they've got the Fluster here. Okay. Um, yeah. I mean, I will force. And we'll pitch Doc Faden. And we will on top and try and do our force. I mean, I have to do it here. If they have a fawn, I mean, so be it. But I'd rather them not untap and have a fluster or something, you know? I think this is just the world we live in. Okay, so that's pretty good. I do like Ragavan here, but I believe I should sit on my Pyro more than Ragavan. We can cast Ragavan next turn. Like them just casting a breach here and going off. I mean, there's nothing I can do about it anyways, but blue card? Okay, that's great. We're gonna cast well, let me see here. Part of me wants to cast Cage here. I still have the hard cast Force of Will. I think this is rather than dashing it, I'm gonna just for mana efficiency just hard cast it. And if it gets bolted or something, I mean that's okay. Obviously, I would very much like to get Ragavan going here because I think that drawing off my opponent's library, which is reasonably low casting cost, is quite significant. And treasure is no joke either. Okay. I mean, my opponent played out the mana crypt to play around Flusterstorm, which is, certainly has merit, but it is chipping away at them here. See if we can sneak in with Ragavan. Don't mind if I do cast your Time Walk. So they got a hard cast force here by the looks of it. No, because Flusterstorm's not very good anymore, I'm going to fluster it. Yeah, Ragavan's looking really strong here. Flusterstorm, that's not going to work, is it? Guess I'll take a second turn. A third turn in a row here. Dragon Rage Chandler. I like that. Do I want days? No, we don't want days. Those treasures were just huge. Now I can hard cast Force of Will and hold up Pyroblast, which is really good. Okay, they've conceded. Well, Ragavan was really good there. As I mentioned earlier, how nice would it have been to have him in my opening, but he showed up late game and was still quite relevant. All right, so look, I mean, Grafdigger's Cage had reasonably good showing there. I think I like my configuration overall. I mean, Dak Faden has very limited value in this matchup. I guess it does let me filter late game. Maybe I can just cut one Dak Faden for a Lightning Bolt. Like, is that, maybe that's reasonable. Like, you might be looking at me going, why is this guy cutting Dak Faden? Like, it's such a good card, but I'm pretty sure they transform here, and having the extra bolt on the draw might be a reasonable thing to do. I think it's. I could also have an extra cage here as well, but I've got so many cantrips in my deck, so I think this is reasonable. I like the way that game worked out there. Yeah, seems fine. No Ragavan. Some cards on the bottom. I mean, I could play the Lotus out here, but I think I'm just going to be a bit greedy and try and get the extra damage here. Like, I don't really want to use it to cast a Flusterstorm to protect the sprite. I think I'm just pretty good where I'm at. And the Lotus will really help me set up a Treasure Cruise nicely with a Flusterstorm backup in a turn or two, hopefully. That being, I don't have to go off with my Flusterstorm here. Force and Fluster or something like that. We'd really like to find a cantrip. Okay, STP maybe? Yeah. Do I want to let that go? Yep. Because we don't have a lot of resources here, I think, picking a fight over the Sprite Dragon is just not worth it. This is going to help set us up for the cruise, as I mentioned earlier. Okay, I don't mind Cage here. So we're a little bit flimsy here, but do I want them to have Brainstorm? I think it's fine. Maybe I shouldn't have cast the Cage there. Maybe I should have held up Force of Will, Hardcast, and Flusterstorm. It does seem a lot better to me, because if I have to Force of Will something like pitching, it'll be the Treasure Cruise to be able to back up with the Flusterstorm, right? Maybe not. I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, I've kind of cornered myself in here that I'm going to need to make my move next turn. I can cast the Treasure Cruise. We're pretty much wanting anything off the top other than land. We don't want mana producers. And if I have to draw a mana producer, I would prefer it to be a wasteland or a strip mine. Big tank from my opponent there on the brainstorm. Hopefully they don't have a fetch. Naturally they do. I don't think it was right for me to play that Cage out, to be honest with you. I mean, they know what's ahead of them now. That they have to remove the Cage to go off with Breach. Okay. And I think I could have concealed that for a couple turns while playing a little bit more safer with my. Yeah, this is bad news brown for me, right? I mean, I have to try and counter this. And I think given what my board state is here, I just have to try and force a hard cast force, and hope they don't have a force of will of their own. So it's kind of bad news for me either way, because if this resolves, I'm in bad shape. My hand doesn't look very good, and if even if this force of will does work, I've lost my ability to treasure cruise anytime in the foreseeable future. So a little bit awkward. My opponent's thinking long and hard about whether they want to fight over this or not, which to me intones they have a force of will. And if Teferi resolves, I think I pretty much lose. Like, I guess I have Sprite Dragon and stuff that I can fight with, but so we need something like here. We need a cantrip. We need a Ragavan. Um, Something like that. Think through time is not what we needed. That was like literally one of the worst draws we could have had. So this one's sadly slipping away from us. Our opponent still has 5 cards, but okay, they're not doing anything. All right. Oh, yeah, I'm not gonna. I mean, I have to fight over that. Maybe they have their own Flusterstorm. I don't know. Fluster back. Oh, they got a force. Yeah, braid works. I need some help. I think I'll dash him. They must have a force still. Let's hope we hit like a Black Lotus. That would be real nice. Oh, Mox is pretty good too. I think that lets us treasure cruise. Does that let us cruise? No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, no. Okay. It was close. I mean, happy to hit the Mox for sure. I mean, my opponent's probably gonna just value breach here. We just really need to be able to untap here. I definitely do not feel as secure with the cage gone now, obviously. So they found another land, chose to shuffle. Okay, that's encouraging. We'd love a Force of Will here, or a Pyroblast, or a Cage. Okay, that's actually decent. I think I cast Ragavan. I think I dash Ragavan again. And see if they didn't force it, but that was my hope. Island. Okay, island does not matter. So I guess we're kind of penciled in here. I think I treasure cruise, right? And like dig through time is just a better card. We'll do it in their upkeep. So they're going to go for a breach next turn. Let's hope they don't have Flusterstorm here. They did not hit a Mox or a Lotus there, which is good news. I don't know. I'm looking at this type of board we're in right now. Like, Leyline of the Void would have been really good. Hopefully they do not have a Flusterstorm here. That would just be really bad. Yeah, they do. Oh, Vampiric. Okay, so they're just setting up their kill. Yeah, well, we're going to need to find something good here. Off this dig through time, like I guess a Force of Will and a Pyroblast. Might be enough. It might be enough. And it's not unreasonable of me to ask that either. Okay. Well, we're definitely taking Force of Will, and I think the next one is Ancestral. Doesn't matter because we're going to shuffle them all anyways, but let's get that Ancestral in here. We're looking for a Pyroblast. We did not find one, unfortunately. That was actually really ugly. Double Chandler? Jeez. Well, they've got two cards, one of which they dug deep for. So they went and found an Ancestral. So I think we have to counter this. Look, they could be setting me up with a Breach, but I don't have a choice. Okay, we got lucky. I'm going to slam killing that red source there. Well, let's Ragavan first. Let's dash. I mean, I guess I could technically put that in the yard, right? But I mean, I'm going to kill them next turn. No point in playing the Mox. I may as well faint like I've got something. Well, they're going to need to find a red source and a Breach here. Which is not going to be easy. Top one, bottom. Okay. All right, we got there. What could have gone wrong there is if they did something like a dig through time or a treasure cruise, and they found two of the two combo pieces that they need. But anyways, of note, the all-star there was Ragavan. I got three of these guys. Maybe I should just be running four in the deck. That just felt really, really good.